Hi, my friends. Yesterday was National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. So I'm running a day late, but I found this great recipe and I saw it on TV. And there are some ingredients on it that this girl had that she adds now, which make it a moisture cookie. And we're going to try that today. So the first thing I have to do is show you some of the ingredients in it. Now, to start the morning off, you melt 1/2 cup of butter, which is 1 stick of butter. So you melt that at a medium temperature on your stove. So there's two things. While that's getting soft and melting nicely, the first thing that you do is you take 1 1/4 cups, and then make sure it's a quarter. Hold on. I'm mistaken. 1 1/3 cups of measure, okay, King Arthur flour. And along with that, you add a 1/4 cup of almond flour. Put them in a little bowl like so. Then you add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and just a little bit of salt, if you like salt. And just kind of mix that around. And we're going to set that aside until we get our other ingredients put in. And I think because you're adding both kinds of flour, it really makes a difference in the way that cookies come out. Okay, I'm going to set that aside now and show you what else we're doing. This butter is starting to melt. Now, when this butter melts, we're going to want to get it so that it starts to almost look like a little bubbly, and we want to make it turn kind of like a goldish brown, which is when it starts to change color, get a little foamy, and that's part of the secret too, I think, that this girl used on TV. Is she let this butter get nice and soft, melted, and start to turn brown and boil a little bit. So we're going to wait for that to happen, because then we're going to add some other ingredients to start this going off real quick. Okay, so come on. This is starting to melt, and it's melting well, but it's not quite dark enough in order to put it into the next phase of our cookie recipe. Okay, so let me just move some things around here, and we're going to want to kind of use, I don't know, I don't like to use the paddle too much, so I end up using my whisk on my mixer, and it seems to mix everything pretty good, and it incorporates everything. Okay, now this butter is starting to get how we want it to be. Get dark. We don't want it to burn, but we also want it to turn a little kind of a golden color. Once we do that, we'll put it in another bowl other than the one that we put our flour in. Okay, now it's starting. So let me just move that so you can see what's happening with it. And I think this is what makes it look so good, because it's starting to turn, and you're supposed to turn it and mix it like this. Make it a little bit lower. Starting to foam a little bit, and you'll notice that it'll start to change a little in color. It'll start to get a little bit more gold and copper color. Once that happens, then we need to take it and put it in another bowl. And I'm going to put it in my mixing bowl. Now this can be done by hand instead of the mixing bowl, or it could be done in your mixing bowl with your other beater. Come on. It's starting to get there. We want it to get kind of a golden color. And it's getting there now. Because once this is done and added to the bowl, then we will add some other ingredients that we do. I do a lot of baking and a lot of cookie baking. And just for some reason, I am always baking chocolate chip cookies. I think because the kids next door, and they're young, they'll come over for a cookie. Oh, Nan, they call me Nan. Nan, we're not Nan, but that's okay, that's what they call me. Nan, can we have a cookie? And they know where to find the cookies. So I'll go get the cookies, I'll say, here they are. So I've made various kinds of cookies, and I think their favorite is chocolate chip. Actually, it actually is chocolate chip. So this is a great recipe. And the other thing about it is a gluten-free recipe. And oh my gosh, these cookies come out so good. Okay, now you can see what's happening here. See how it's foaming up now? And that's what we want it to do. Okay, so I think because it's at this stage, turn off our burner, and we want to put this in our pan. So you can kind of see it turning color. Can you see the color? It's kind of a brownish color, and that's what we want. We want that color in this butter. So right now I'm going to pour it into my mixer bowl and get all that butter out of this little frying pan and put it in the mixing bowl. Okay. Now once we do that, we're going to add some other ingredients. So put this thing over here so we can see what we're doing. So now that we put that in the mixing bowl, kind of see that it's turned a golden brown in there. Can you see that? And that's good. That's what we wanted to do. So now we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Put that right in there. 1/4 cup of white sugar. We'll mix that in there. This is the trick. This is 1 tablespoon of milk. Any kind of milk you have. I have lactate milk, which my husband will drink, and I find drinking it, and it tastes pretty good. So it doesn't make any difference what kind of milk you put in. It's got to be 1 tablespoon of milk. So I'm going to move over now to my mixer and put it in and let it mix up a little bit. We'll put it on low once I plug it in. Hello. It's been that kind of morning, folks. Okay, there it goes. And so we're going to mix that up a little bit. Oh, and it smells so good. You can almost smell the chocolate chip cookies. I know. Mix that up really good. Okay, now, after we mix that up, that's mixing. While that's mixing, let me think what else can we do next. We want to add 1 egg and vanilla. So we have 1 egg right here, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla will go into this now. Let me look at that and kind of show you again. Okay, the 2 teaspoons of vanilla will go in there. And we will put 1 egg in there. Okay, got them in. Got that egg in there. All right. Got the egg in. So we've got 1 egg. It's going really good. It's mixing up real well. Let me just turn it off so you can see what it looks like. See how it is? Let me get a spatula here. Okay, so that's the mixture. That's the combination that we mixed together. See the color of it? Okay. So now that that is all mixed together nicely, we want to incorporate our flour and our baking soda. So let me get that right here. And I will gently pour that in here because we already mixed it a little. And we'll put the rest of it in there. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to mix that all together. So basically, that's your recipe. The only thing that's not in there right now is the chocolate chips that you're going to put in. It calls for 1 cup of chocolate chips. You know, if you want to put more chocolate chips, you don't have to put just 1 cup of chocolate chips. You can put a lot more too. Or you could mix it. Mix white chips and dark chips. You could put nuts in it, whatever you want to make and put in your cookies, you can do. But like I said, the combination of these cookies and what I have just put in them seem to make the difference in how they taste and how they look. All right, so let me do this again. And here we are. Get this off the beater here, if we could. Okay. Now, you can see the thickness that's in this. Okay. So, the only thing that's missing are your chocolate chips. And here they are. I have over a little cup of chocolate chips. The milk chocolate chips I prefer. And now it calls for maybe just mixing them together. We don't have to beat them anymore because we did incorporate all our other ingredients in this cookie. Right now we're just mixing in the chocolate chips. And we'll get them mixed really good. So that every cookie has some chocolate chips in it. Okay. Now, this recipe also calls for one thing that I don't usually do. When I make cookies, I start to make them right away. Okay, so once you get your chocolate chips all mixed in there, nice and incorporated with your other ingredients, the next thing you want to do is cover your bowl with some plastic wrap, which I will get right now because I forgot to get it out. So you get your plastic wrap out and cover it up because it's going to be, it's on the warm side. Remember, your butter was really hot and bubbly when we took that off, and I can't get this plastic wrap open. Hold on. Let me get something else to put on there. Okay, hold on, I'm coming. Okay, how about some wax paper? Wax paper that's always good. Okay, so we're going to just cover this bowl with wax paper, just like so. Set it aside. It's all ready to be used and put on our parchment paper to bake the cookies. But right now, it needs to set for a little bit. 30 minutes. So you set this cookie dough for 30 minutes aside. Now the other thing you could do, which is a nice thing, you could make it ahead. Making it ahead, what you would do is exactly the ingredients that I just mentioned to you that go in this. But you cover it with your plastic wrap, put it in the refrigerator, and you can keep it in there up to 3 or 4 days. But when you take it out to make your cookies, you have to let it set for about 30 minutes so that the dough gets a little bit softer. Because what you're going to do is use one of these. Now, the other girl that was on TV, she used a bigger scoop, which is what this size is, about 2 tablespoons. I rather make the smaller ones, and then I just make them and let so much of it fall over on the cookie. The cookies come out. I will show you how the cookies come out. Because my husband has a special cookie jar right here. My granddaughter did this in pottery, and I love it. And this is for Pop. So I put his cookies in here. And this is the other batch that I made. And let me just show you. These were 2 different kinds of chocolate chips that I put in. See the size of them? And the other thing I'm going to show you is how this one's breaking. I made these and put them in the freezer. And yesterday I took them out. And they just fall a flake apart. Just totally fall apart. And I think it's the milk. Maybe it's the milk that makes them taste so good. I'll have to eat that one with my cup of coffee in a little bit. Don't tell John. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to let them set for a while, and I will be back in 30 minutes. I think I set my oven at 350. I'm sure it's 350 degrees. And you set your oven at 350, and you cook them for 10 or 12 minutes. So I will be back in 30 minutes, and we'll cook them together. Okay, my 30 minutes are up. So what I've started to do, I took my parchment paper, put my cookies on the parchment paper like so. And in doing that, what you want to do is, I took the dough out of my mixer and I set it on my wax paper right there. You can see that. So when you do this, if you use this smaller scoop, you want to just take a bunch like this. And if you had some stuff hanging off of it, that's fine. Let it go in your hand and roll it in a ball. And put it on your cookie sheet. Now, apparently, making these bigger and using the bigger scoops, you only get about 19 cookies or so. But using the smaller scoops, you can see I already have 8, 12, 16, almost 20 cookies right here. And I still have more of the dough to put down. The last time I made these, I made a double batch. And the double batch was so much easier to make because I just use it all. And then the other thing you could do with these is you can freeze these, just like this. You can put these in your freezer, and then once they all get frozen, put them in a plastic bag. And anytime you want to make some cookies, just pull out the amount of cookies that you want to make. So there's lots of good ideas with this kind of a cookie. I think the biggest part of making it so delicious and so moist is adding the butter the way we did it. We cooked it a long time until it get kind of an almond or a brownish color. And then we added milk to it. And I think maybe the other thing was resting the cookies. Like, I have have to rest a little bit, just like we have to rest after we bake. We want to rest a little bit, right? Yeah. So we wait until they're ready to be baked. We put this in a 350-degree oven between 10 and 12 minutes. But roll them in a ball, because what happens is, you saw the cookie I showed you, they come out flat. And they're so moist inside. It really is amazing. Oh, there's my beep beep. Okay, I'm going to stick these in the oven right now in my middle rack. I still have a few more to roll, but it wouldn't be that much. And I'll put it in for, it says 12 minutes. Basically, that is the time to set it in. Now, you saw the cookies that I made, and what I have left is that, which is about, what, 3 cookies maybe? So it does take a nice number of cookies, but if you do make them in a double batch, seriously, because it's so easy. The recipe calls for just a few ingredients, and I think that in making them this way and resting them, try them. They're going to come out pretty good. So I'm going to wait and see what we get, and I will be back in 12 minutes and I'll show you. So I have about 5 more minutes before the cookies are done. So I just want to go over the recipe with you again if you're interested in making these cookies. Excuse me. So in one little bowl, you want to put 1 1/3 cups of measure flour, and then you want to add a 1/4 cup of almond flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a pinch of salt. If you want to put salt in it, that sounds fine. You set that aside. Then you melt your butter, your one stick of butter, in a medium size pan at a medium heat, not real hot, but a medium temperature. So you want that to brown, and you have to wait a while before it gets that brownish color on it, because it'll start to rise up and almost look like it just kind of gets fluffy. So when it gets like that, you have another pan or another, whether you can use your mixer bowl or whatever. I use my mixer bowl. You put that in your mixer bowl, and to that you want to add 1 tablespoon of milk. Any kind of milk is required. 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of white sugar, 1 large egg, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Mix that all up until it gets brown, and you'll see that the dough will start to form. Once that forms like that, then you can take it and either put your 1 cup of chips in that and mix it, and then the chips will break up a little bit, or take it and set it aside and get your spatula and just put the chips in and let it soften up and let the chips all get in there nicely and incorporate into the dough. Then you just set it aside for 30 minutes. It has to set because it'll make a difference. So that's what I did. I set it aside for 30 minutes. And then when you start to make your dough, you'll notice these are the few that I had left over that didn't fit on my sheet when I put it in the oven. But you'll start to notice that the dough is starting to come together a little bit more. So you want to make balls. Put them in a ball like such, and then drop them on your cookie sheet that has your parchment paper on it. Put them in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes, and of course you leave 2 inches between each cookie. That's what I usually do. And so 10 to 12 minutes, and then don't watch, don't look. What I do is I end up looking and think, oh, they're coming. Oh, they're not coming right. I'm thinking, don't look in the oven. It's a surprise. So when you go to the oven and the thing beeps and it says, okay, it's time to get them out, then you can look at them and say, oh, they came out perfect. So that's what we do. So right now I'm not looking because I have 2 minutes left. So that's the scoop. And like I said, 350 degrees between 10 and 12 minutes. It will take care of them. And I'm telling you, they are the best cookies. They really are. And there is I think there's a bunch of recipes out there, but people are calling them, they're gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. That's what they're called. Gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. You can Google it and see if you'll find any recipes on it. You will, believe me, there's all different kinds. I have done, probably done about 4 or 5 different recipes that are gluten-free. Some of them have both flours in them. Some of my recipes do not. They just have the one flour, not the almond, but the regular. And you can get a recipe too with almond flour, just chocolate chips. So there's all kinds out there. So if you want to try this one, it's really a neat recipe, and I think you'll like it. Let me just see we're done with this. Okay, let's see what we got. We're going to open this and see what happens. Amazingly enough, these cookies started out round and now look at them. Can you believe that? They are beautiful. They are beautiful. And they smell so good. And you can see all the chocolate. So when they bake, they start to crack open a little bit. You can see that, and that's okay. That's just makes the cookie itself. You can see what's in it and what it all has. The other thing you could do too is you have some of that. I don't have any of that salt. The thick. Oh, I forget what they call it. The salt that you kind of just sprinkle on your cookies, and when you bake them. I've not had any of that recently. I keep forgetting to buy that. But there are the cookies. Beautiful. And see, 2 inches apart was more than enough room. And that's one batch. So if you make them and one batch is gone because everybody ate them, you need to make more. You need to make a double batch. So I hope you like this recipe. I enjoyed making it again today. And I will stick them in a freezer. When they're cooled, I will stick them in the freezer. You should let them sit about 5 minutes or so because they have to kind of rest again. These cookies have to rest. They must be old. I don't know. Old, but I don't know. They just have to rest, just like I have to rest. Put my feet up and rest, right? We all have to. Hey, have a wonderful day today. I enjoyed talking to you all the time. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.